was alive, she would like me to be pretty with my false eyelashes and makeup. And because one of her favorites is when I do makeover on her and give her, put on her false eyelashes with her bling. And this is Nida's favorite color. I was a nursing student, a junior in fact, when I heard an RN inside the medical surgical unit in Manila Sanitarium way back then during the 1980s. Somebody speaking English, and my first encounter with Mom Nida, as we call her, and she was that heard nurse that morning shift. It was a wedding, uh, and Nida, being close to Ate Merceline, was helping make our wedding tie orchid florals. It was when David was less than 6 months old that Placido and Nida visited Ate Merceline's house as they are scouting the best surgical practice location for Placido. One day, they were in our beginning general practice clinic at 228 South Commerce in Sebring, and they finally decided to establish practice in Sebring. And their first home was in Lake Placid, as we jokingly say, Placido, in Placid, Florida. Inday was less than 5 months old as Mama was holding her with ease, singing Sabbath school songs. June, our kid needs to play violin like Jorge. Jorge played violin one Sabbath, and Nida invited him and Nida's all Filipino disciples to the Pomelo house, who almost weekly were present in our unfailing Sabbath potlucks. She grilled her famous Korean ribs and toasted seaweeds. That was Nida's introduction and influence to Korean and Japanese food added in my DNA that I cherish and even can cook now. The disciples are Ruby Rada, Ate Tinay, June, Dory, Ate Rowena, with our husbands and kids. Jose, Charlie, Tony, Obed. After hearing Jorge, we all signed up for private lessons and the then SFCC in a violin group class. You saw our kids, especially Andrew, David, Inday, Jeannie Ann, Edsel, Rowling, JR, Jocelyn, Stu, Jamie, Brian, became performers in church and recitals in their growing up years. And later, Lisel and Kim joined in, and also Melanie. Then, Auntie Loli Nabong and Mrs. Samander became the ever-patient piano teachers and accompanists in an innumerable recitals and church concerts spearheaded by one who beats Bunny Energizer, Nida. Nida was ahead of her concept of Dancing with the Stars, as she choreographed Inday Sharon, Dory, Lynn, her and me, and out of our pole-like spines came out the graceful and colorful Singkil Moro dance. And from our husband's perspective, Persing, Tony, Marcy, and Charlie, we were Bayanihan dancers in its enchanting grace and beauty. Of course, Placido is number one. Our kids dance itik itik. Remember that? At the Asian Festival in our old Walker Memorial Gym and many New Year festival events. Door prizes evolved from Nida's inventive and advertising mind that even now grow in popularity not just in delicious Filipino contributing best foods, but winning lottery at high-value door prizes. Nida became ambitious and infected us in her boldness and enthusiasm that we found ourselves performing with our kids that played instruments, others dancing, others singing, and others at various assignments at the then SFCC. With Nida's influence, we found ourselves celebrities for a fundraising cause. The concert tour to Puerto Rico cannot be underestimated. Our kids' instruments were confiscated by custom officers demanding for a tariff. Nida accompanied Mr. Farmer and Mr. Can, and with Nida's diplomatic, persuasive features, with much prayers and God's interventions, the instruments arrived on time as we were all at the Puerto Rico Senate, kids ready to perform, and it happened. Dini Rada, Sandy Villanueva, Kay Can, and I were chaperones. After we passed so much gas from eating beans, Nida and I will sneak out with Dini to eat at Chinese restaurant, steamed red snapper in ginger sauce, the beginning of our food tripping. Along our trip, Nida will persuade Mr. Can and Mr. Farmer to a halt. Even if we're running out of time, Nida will announce, I am paying and treating all to eat mangoes and fresh coconuts. Who can prevail against Nida? Those leftover coconuts and mangoes Nida distributed. Mangoes to each carry-on bags and handbags, and she expertly convinced us to finish before leaving the hotel. The leftovers! Sayang! Inside the airplane, bad gas was hovering the air. We were making utot and laughing simultaneously as passengers were covering their noses. Not done yet. Nida made me, Dini, Sandy, and Inday, Deborah, ate leftover mangoes inside the ladies' bathroom before customs and immigration at Fort Lauderdale Airport. Even if our tummies were rumbling since takeoff to arrival, there is no for Nida. Surprisingly, in humorous expertise, we obey her, not in rebellion, but in fun obedience. The numerous potlucks during Forest Lake Music Festival, so famous that even the principal attended. Our escapade to the first Thai restaurant in Lake Mary after our truckloads of shopping. And she can convince the owner to cook out of the menu because Placido would love it. The investment in Cayman Island with Sam Chavit, Shirley, Charlie, and I, though we did not hit diamonds, we surely have tons of golden friendship and enormous fun. The European tour started from England, then France, after leaving the White Cliffs of Dover. Snobbish French will not let us relieve ourselves without paying first in the bathroom. Nida outsmarted the token machine by putting her foot by the door that we only paid 2 bathrooms for among 10 people. We were imitated by others that the money collector was scratching her head in amazement. Then off to Amsterdam, Austria, Germany, Italy, to Switzerland. Dini brought rice cooker and rice per Nida's instructions. Shirley brought hers also. And Placido in every meal will bring out the cooked rice in the rice cooker per meal. And Placido will preach, magtipid. Dini and I will sneak out to dine out, and I will order to go for Nida, French and Italian, of course. Chocolates in Belgium, France, Switzerland are the countries that Nida made love affair with chocolates. Andrew and David carried backpacks full of chocolate that Placido thought were books. Nida and gelato in Italy started an illicit love in the afternoon. Romance, as that was the time I will buy her secret gelato because Placido was hypnotizing Nida unsuccessfully. Weight loss. Our annual Voice of Prophecy, Orlando Pilgrims, is a forefront to after-sale mad dash as stores are closing at 6 p.m. Our Costco and Sam's office supply shopping excuses as we are really targeting the newly opened premium outlet. Shop till you drop escapade. That is literal, okay? Then we will sneak out our loots. Mine in her van, hers in my trunk. One time, Charlie caught me. Well, that was Nida's because mine was in Nida's van. The kids attended college. Nida made Michigan and Loma Linda her backyard. A frequent flyer mileage accumulator. Not to mention that Andrew, David, and I were the only Walker students who have 5 days newly cooked hot meals among all the students while my kids hit up TV dinners. Our accountants are the same. We can discuss if we are current in filing taxes. 941, 940, UCT 6, 1040. If the Medicare pays us on time, if we have funds to pay our bills, if our payroll and bills can be magically stressed by God, and for a million miraculous ways. Nida convinced me that supporting God's work is numero uno among urgent bills to pay, as Nida is the most generous giver and supporter, especially Voice of Prophecy, and she is a board member there. June, I'm coming to your home. I can only eat if you cook. You know what I love? Twice a day, that's September 2018 month for 2 weeks. Thai Food Fest, Filipino all-time favorites. What a food party time before MD Anderson ordeals. I called her February 2019. June, I cannot eat. I have a week chemo break. Overnight, I flew, and 99 Ranch in Houston has all what it takes to cook 14 recipes in 2 days. Nida's favorites are, for those you don't know, papaya salad, Thai papaya salad, striped huge humongous mama striped bass, steamed in thyme lime sauce, munggo with ampalaya leaves, beans and kalabasa in coconut, paksiw bangus in calamansi, pangat Norwegian mackerel in coconut and vinegar, bibingka kalapong in banana liner. She has a sweet tooth, you know that. Mango Thai salad, Thai cucumber salad, crunchy tempura smelt, tofu patty, beef caldereta, but that's for Cesar and Connie Macchio. Kare-kare, vegetarian of course. Bangus daing, especially for Manang Betty. Last February 2020, for 2 days, like in Houston, I cotton touch, massage her till she snored. I cook on second day, the night before her Houston flight. Steam striped bass again from Virginia Beach in thyme lime sauce. Though with zero appetite, she had 2 to 3 tablespoons as she wants to save the rest for Placido. Every morsel of yummy food, her thoughts are, Placido will love this. I said I will not tear up, but I cannot help it. I do not know why I was tearing up badly that night. I was hugging her. I am her Asian trip tour coordinator. As I travel cheap, not on pricey tour groups, but my own tip-feed research. Nida's trip itineraries and food treat and sites in various countries are: we'll visit Philippines, especially Davao, for tamarang. Korea for Korean food banchans. Japan for cherry blossoms. Thai, of course, all the Thai foods. And Penang, Malaysia. And then Singapore. I hugged and reminded her that our trip is as planned. And she whispered, June, I think I cannot come back. I replied, yes, you will. Do you think so? Yes, I am positive by God's will. Although our food trip will be in heaven, plucking all fave fruits in one tree, shopping is free in every planet that we outweigh in beauty from our earthly imagination. Airline ticket is free, galactic flying in Jesus' rocket wings. Nida sings both alto and soprano lyrics written in a Moon River style of worship. Inday, no more COVID-19 social distancing as Nida is the socialization grandmaster. We will make up for what was not done as if Placido will say, tubig lang. It means only water. But in heaven, a literal Nida style, too big, T-O-O space B-I-G. For Nida, everything is too big. You might not hear me because you're sleeping, but I love you and die. And I promise I will love Andrew, David, Inday, Deborah, and their family. And although it will not be every day, I will give food to Placido, just like the way you want him to eat. Placido, we love this.
I thought you
I love you.